It's very common and very normal for victims of narcissistic abuse to be absolutely overcome with the need to expose the narcissist for the things that they've done to you or the kind of person that they really are. And if this is something that you're struggling with, in today's video, I want to help you see this from a different perspective. And I also want to open your eyes to potential pitfalls and potential harms that may come of this overwhelming need to expose the narcissist. Welcome to Looking Behind the Mirror, where we explore narcissism and take our lives back as we make sense out of nonsense. As a quick disclaimer, everything I say is based on my opinions and my personal experiences. I'm not a professional, and if you're really struggling, I encourage you to seek professional help. I am providing links below for you. I want to start this video by clarifying what I mean when I say exposing the narcissist for who they really are. I'm not talking about real concrete action that you can take to protect yourself if you have a really narcissistic boss and you have an opportunity to quit. By all means, quit. And if you are in a position where you can cut off a relationship with someone who's abusing you, by all means, cut off that relationship. Take real steps that you can to protect yourself from real harm in any way that you're able to. But in today's video, what I'm going to talk about is this desire to expose the narcissist in order to control the narrative, in order to let other people know what kind of person this really is, in order to seek some kind of justice. These are all very normal things to want when someone has harmed you so deeply, hurt you so deeply. But we can easily make things much worse for us when our judgment is distorted by the hurt and the anger and the fear that can come of narcissistic abuse. So that's what I want to address in today's video. And that's what I want to hopefully help you see from some different perspectives so that you don't inadvertently do things that ultimately make your healing journey much more difficult. Now, some specific examples of what I mean by exposing the narcissist is telling people in the narcissist's inner circle what they've done to you, like telling the narcissist's mom or best friend or sister or whatever, the things that they've done to you, or trying to reach out to the narcissist's new partner, new girlfriend, new boyfriend, and letting them know what kind of person that they're dealing with, letting them know what they did to you in the name of protecting them from the same thing. Or it could look like trying to explain your side of the story to people who are buying into the narcissist's narrative. People who are judging you, maybe cutting you off, unfriending you because of what the narcissist has told them. You know, going to those people and trying to tell them your side of the story. Or maybe if this is something happening in a workplace, maybe finding things that the narcissist has done, frauds, lies, maybe taking credit for other people's work and trying to bring that to light in the same environment that has supported that narcissist's behavior. It's basically anything that you're doing to try to change the minds of people who have sided with the narcissist or people that just don't understand what kind of person the narcissist is. You're trying to make the narcissist look bad, and maybe you have really good reasons for doing that, and maybe all you're doing is telling the truth, but that's kind of the objective here, is you're trying to make people see the narcissist the way that you see the narcissist now. So if this is something that you struggle with, and I've been there, I've certainly been overcome with this overwhelming desire to let everyone know what this person did to me and what the truth really is. So I completely understand this. And if you're struggling with this, the first thing I want you to do is really sit down and think about what exactly you hope will happen. Because narcissists and their abuse can leave us very confused, very emotional, very reactionary. It can be very difficult to think clearly and even to think through the things that we're doing. We can really lose sound judgment and fail to think things all the way through because of how much the narcissist has messed with our sense of reality. So the first thing is to really sit down and imagine whatever this is, whoever it is you want to tell the truth to, or however you want to expose the truth of the narcissist, imagine what it is exactly, precisely, you hope will happen. Like if you're going to text the narcissist's mom a whole story about what the narcissist did to you, well, how exactly do you hope she will react? What exactly do you hope she is going to say? What do you think she's going to do? What do you hope she's going to do? Really try to visualize the goal, the objective. What do you hope will happen when you gather all this evidence about your narcissistic supervisor and how they've taken credit for everybody's projects and you give it to their supervisor? What exactly do you hope precisely in your imagination is going to happen? Try to visualize the end point, the goal, and what that's actually going to feel like if it actually happened. In reality, 9 times out of 10, no matter how horrible the narcissist has been, sometimes even the more horrible they've been to you, the worse you look when you try to defend yourself against the things they've done, because they've already gone ahead and set things up and told people their side of the story, to where when you come along later and try to defend yourself or try to expose the truth, you really end up looking like, quote, the crazy one because of how they've set things up. The truth is often something that seems much harder to believe than the lies that the narcissist has told. And 9 times out of 10, the narcissist wants you to overreact. The narcissist wants you running around trying to tell everybody what really happened and defending yourself and losing your mind and getting really angry and upset and trying to tell everyone the truth about what they've done. The narcissist wants you to do that because it usually makes you look like you're the one with the problem because of the way they've set things up. So almost always, it really is best for you to stay back and allow the narrative to play out the way it will. And I know that that can feel really frustrating because it's really hard to sit back and let somebody sit and tell lies about you. But I am telling you that people who are emotionally mature, especially people that have been through experiences like this, they can see through a narcissist's narrative. They can see through the rhetoric and the lies and the manipulation. And when a narcissist is going around setting up these scenarios that make you look crazy, that make them look like the victim, people who are emotionally mature know better than to judge you based on something that this other person said. And the people who are going to believe the narcissist, the people who are going to judge you, they're not going to want to listen to your defense anyway, because they're not emotionally mature. Their opinion really isn't worth your trouble. And they aren't siding with the narcissist because the narcissist's story makes sense or they have any kind of sense of justice or anything like that. They're siding with the narcissist because it feeds their ego in some way. It's the same reason people really get into gossip and gossiping about people. It's not because they actually believe the things they're saying or because they care if the things they are saying are true or not. It's because of how important and superior it makes them feel. And those are the kinds of people that narcissists will spin their webs with, create these narratives for, and you really can't come along later and change the minds of the people that the narcissist was able to convince. And that's what the narcissist wants you to try to do anyway. People whose opinions really matter, people who are emotionally mature, are not people that you have to explain things to. They are not people that are going to need to hear your side of the story before they decide whether or not to judge you. Now, let me explain why this is, why trying to defend yourself against a narcissist's narrative, trying to expose the truth of the narcissist is more than often going to backfire on you and make things worse. And the first reason is that narcissists exist in a dysfunctional system that supports them, usually, if they're able to set that up. And most of them have been able to do that. whether it's in their family or their circle of friends or their workplace. They have what we call flying monkeys, right? They have a system of dysfunction that supports them. And these people and the system is loyal to them. You can't break through that. These are people that want to believe the narcissist for emotional reasons, not for rational reasons. These are people that don't care about the truth because they are emotionally invested in the narcissist for whatever reason. And this is a toxic, dysfunctional system. When you cut off contact or you distance yourself from an abusive, toxic narcissist, you need to distance yourself from the whole system, from all of these people that support the narcissist's abuse and toxicity. You can't go into this system and expect people that support it to side with you, because these people don't care about the ways the narcissist has harmed you, because they have all the same excuses in their heads as the narcissist has in their own. Another reason that you usually won't be able to achieve this objective that I asked you to imagine earlier is that people generally are not as emotionally invested in your problems as you are. I mean, 99.99% of the time, right? Even people who have empathy for you or care about the things that have happened to you are not going to be as focused on what the narcissist has done to you as you are. And, I don't want to sound flippant, and I don't want this to sound mean, but really simply put, most people just simply don't care, or they don't care as much as you do. And you really can't expect them to. Now, when you're in the throes of recovering from narcissistic abuse, your whole world has been turned upside down. I mean, you, especially if you're breaking a trauma bond, it's all you can think about. It's everything. And this person has hurt you deeply. And it's every minute of every day. It consumes you. And sometimes it's really difficult to step back out of that perspective and understand that for other people, no matter how horribly the narcissist has treated you, no matter what awful things they've done, other people aren't going to be able to focus on that or care about it as much as you. Even people with empathy are going to see it as a story. And if there's something they can do to help you or support you, they will. But they have their own lives. They have their own problems. And I think that when we have this fantasy of exposing the narcissist, we can greatly overestimate how much action other people are going to be willing to take to seek justice on your behalf, or to enforce accountability onto the narcissist. Most people have their own problems and their own lives, and no matter how horribly the narcissist has treated you, this is just a story about you for them. And even people who are reasonable, fair-minded people, even people that can see through the narcissist's lies and the narcissist's problems, who are in the narcissist's inner circle, most of those people aren't going to want to get involved in your emotional problems because they are part of the narcissist's family, maybe, or friends or whatever. They've got their own lives going, and they don't want to get involved in this drama that, if they've known the narcissist for a very long time, they can probably see is endless and never gets any better. A couple other things to think about is how you felt in the beginning of the relationship with this narcissistic person, how much you believed in them, how great you probably thought they were, and how you would have felt if somebody from the narcissist's past had come to you and tried to tell you the truth about the narcissist. I think if we imagine ourselves in that position, we can understand better how that really just makes you look like the one with the problem, and it's very rarely going to do any good. I also want you to think about stories we've probably all heard of people that have committed egregious crimes, like serial killers, that, we've probably all seen these true crime stories of people that have done terrible, terrible things. And they've got these family members or these romantic partners that just stand by them and don't believe any of it. And they'll just die on that hill of, no, this person's innocent, or they were set up, or they couldn't help it, or whatever. Like, think of the stories that we see like that. And these are stories about people that have done things that are probably 100 times worse than whatever the narcissist has done for you or done to you. You can't really expect people with this kind of loyalty and devotion to a toxic person to listen or care about the things that you're trying to tell them the narcissist has done to you, because they aren't thinking rationally. And they have a very irrational emotional devotion and loyalty to the narcissist for their own emotional reasons. And that is not something that you can get through with facts and logic and truth. So what are you supposed to do? I really want to validate how frustrating this is. And I think frustrating is not a strong enough word. It can be one of the most difficult tasks of your life to learn how to find peace when somebody has hurt you so deeply and then just continues on with their life and continues on with a lot of the same people that used to be friendly with you, people that you thought were your friends, and there seems to be no justice. I mean, how do you find peace when there's no justice? It's really, really difficult. And I want to give validation to that. There's no easy answer here. And it seems like running out to expose the narcissist and show everyone what they've done, that can feel like the only way out of this. That can feel like the only way to find peace and to find relief from the anger and the hurt and confusion and all the damage that's been done. But in reality, for all the reasons I just said, trying to expose a narcissist for what they've done will usually make things worse for you, because it keeps you stuck in that drama. It keeps you stuck in these feelings of injustice and anger and fear and hurt and confusion. Because, like I said earlier, this is what the narcissist wants you to do. The more you try to expose the narcissist and let everyone know what they've done, the more people are going to invalidate you and judge you and defend the narcissist. And that's going to make you feel worse. That's going to make you angrier. That's going to heighten your emotions and your reactivity. And then you're going to get stuck in this cycle of doubling down and trying to find more evidence and trying to explain it in a different way. Basically now, instead of trying to reason with the narcissist, instead of trying to explain things and change the narcissist's mind, now you're trying to change the mind and explain yourself to a whole hive of people who are under the narcissist's spell. And there's no end to that. And that is the opposite of finding peace. Even though it might feel like the only way to find peace, it's actually something that will keep you from finding peace and from moving on with your life. It's something that will escalate these feelings of injustice and anger. So instead of getting caught up on trying to control the opinions and the viewpoints of people who really don't care about you, people who are invested in their own ego and the way that the narcissist makes them feel about themselves, focus on the people who really care about you, because those are the people who matter. Focus on the people who are there for you, who will listen, who do believe you. That is where validation will come. That is where peace will come from, is to see and remind yourself that while there are very ugly, toxic, cruel people in this world, there are also people who care about you, people who are there for you. And reminding yourself of that and spending time with those people is going to be much more healing for you than trying to control the narrative of this circus over here that ultimately doesn't matter. If you have to strong arm someone into caring about you or your story, if you have to treat it as if you're in court presenting a court case, that's not somebody that's ever really going to care about what you're going through. The people who really care about you aren't going to need you to explain everything and prove your point, because they already care, because they already know who you really are, and they can already see that you're truly suffering from something that you didn't deserve. Stepping back and allowing this dysfunctional circus, like I called it, to just believe what they want to believe, to tell the stories they want to tell because of the way it makes them feel about how important they think they are or whatever. Just stepping back and letting it go and letting it be, disconnecting yourself from it, disconnecting your self-worth from what these people think. This is how you can maintain your dignity. There is no dignity in trying to defend yourself against somebody whose whole life is a big fabrication and a lie. There's no dignity in trying to defend yourself against someone who's just got another lie behind another lie behind another lie, who is devoted to making you look like the bad guy no matter what you say, no matter what you do. Because what they think and what the people who are loyal to them think doesn't matter. And when you treat it like it does matter, you get sucked right into that toxic world of drama that they live in. And that is not a place where you will ever be able to heal. So here's some concrete tips on things that I did and people that I know did that really helped us find our own peace and our own validation and get through this difficult time where we were not able to hold the narcissist accountable in a way that felt satisfying. And the first thing is to journal, to write down how you feel. Write down your feelings of anger and fear and confusion. I think this is a really great way to control your own narrative and to sort out your thoughts, to make your experience real, to see it in black and white, and to get those feelings out. This is really effective, I think really cathartic, and much more helpful than reaching out to a bunch of toxic narcissistic people. Another thing that really helped me is finding new hobbies, things that I was interested in that I was either not allowed to do or just couldn't find the time to do when I was in a narcissistic relationship. Personally, I started hiking, and I actually don't really do that anymore, but I also started crocheting. I just found things that I liked, that I wanted to do. And these hobbies gave me something to focus my energy on that made me feel good about what I was doing. And it was really difficult at first. I mean, these horrible, ugly feelings of being hurt, the pain, the heartbreak, I mean, they don't just go away when you start crocheting, right? Or hiking, but it's something positive to focus your energy on. And it's something that is distracting, but also healthy for you to develop new skills and to do something that makes you feel good or makes you feel like you've accomplished something. Also, for me, meditation was extremely helpful. I almost think it was the most important thing that kept me grounded, that kept me sane. I meditated every night before I went to bed. And there are different ways to meditate. I recommend looking up guided meditations on YouTube if you're new to meditation. There's tons of free guided meditations on YouTube. You can play around with it and find what works best for you. For me, this was extremely helpful, and it just gave me a chance to clear my mind and give myself a little bit of a break. It didn't fix everything by any means, but it gave me a break, gave me a chance to just empty my mind and not obsess over all the things that had happened to me for a little bit. And I really think that that was a big part of what kept my feet on the ground, kept me functioning. Of course, for me, therapy helped a lot. Going to a professional licensed therapist. Everybody's experience is going to be different. I know some people haven't had good experiences with therapists. There's all kinds of different ways, or professionals or non-professionals that you can reach out to that have different methods of getting your emotions out and healing. You know, of course, be careful not to join a cult or anything like that. But for me, therapy with a licensed therapist was very, very helpful. And I know that this can be much easier said than done, but don't go on the narcissist's social media. you know, you can go on social media for yourself, and I think it's really helpful. I know it was for me to go on social media or internet forums where people talked about narcissistic abuse and really feel that validation in that community. That's another thing that I would recommend you do. That was very helpful for me. But don't check the narcissist's social media. That is part of going no contact, is really keeping all of that toxicity, all of that garbage out of your life and out of your mind. Just as I've been trying to say that you can't control the narrative of the narcissist and you can't control what the narcissist's inner circle is going to believe or care about, focus on the things you can control. Think about the things you can control, which most of the time is you and the way that you handle this and the actions you take or don't take. Your ability to stay off of their social media, for one thing, and the things that you do to help yourself heal. Those are the things that you can control. Focus on things that you can control to move yourself forward. Because I promise you, as hard as it might be to understand and believe, I promise you, the best revenge against any narcissistic person is to move on and flourish without them in your life. I hope this helps. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and comment below any ideas you have for me for future videos. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like this video and would like to see more like it in the future. Until next time, thanks. Bye.